Hello, everybody. This is Alba Weinman. Okay, we're live.
Hello, we're live. I'm just checking the screen. Hold on.
I've got with me Antonio Sangio.
Yeah. Welcome. Hello, everybody. I don't see it active yet for some reason. I don't see the screen.
Okay, well, it's preparing. It's still preparing. It says preparing live stream. Let's see when it goes live. It says it's preparing. This is when I have to be. Oh, is somebody on? I'm getting hearts.
That's what I see. Is anybody able to see us? Want to put it in the chat?
Yeah, send us a chat if you're able to see us, if we're live.
That's strange.
It is strange. It says it's still preparing the live stream. So we'll see. We'll have to be patient.
Want to use the chat? Put something in the chat so everybody knows that we're trying to connect.
Okay.
I'm going to make a bold statement and say that doing a TEDx talk is going to be the most transformative and uplifting experience.
Okay. That wasn't
No,
it.
not connecting.
Not connecting.
Hold on. It says 21 watching. We're live now. Yes. Now, for some reason, hello. Oh, I see all these chats that were not there before. We're looking at the wrong maybe link.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, it created. Hello, everybody. We're just trying to figure this out. When you went live, it created a new live, a new link.
Oh,
That's what it was.
okay. All right. Let's see where it is then. Sorry, guys. Oh, it did. It created a new one. Oh, look at everybody.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Oh, finally I see. Whoop, whoop. Okay.
We were saying, what's going on?
What's going on with this? We're not very good at this Zoom YouTube thing, but we're here. So if you didn't hear me before, I'm Alba Weinman.
And Antonio Sangio.
And we decided to do this live. Antonio and I talk on the phone like almost every single day. We've been doing this for like 10 years now.
Since 2014, right?
Well, look, we're in 2024.
Yeah.
So it's been 10 years.
10 years.
So for those of you who don't know anything about us, I started doing hypnosis in 2014 officially. And I met Antonio in June of 2014 at a second level QHHT class. We met for a few.
To meet Dolores.
We met Dolores there, and we met very briefly in the airport when we took a picture together. It was a group of us that were leaving at that time, and I had the camera, so Antonio wanted a copy of it, and he was able to track me down. And from that day, we always were talking. So
Yeah.
he's like my brother from another mother.
That's true.
So I'm glad you all are here, and we wanted to get some questions answered for those of you who have been posting comments on YouTube, and you have, and on my Facebook page, and maybe for Antonio.
They send emails sometimes asking questions.
Yeah.
Right?
So this is your opportunity to ask us these questions, and then we're going to be talking to you a little bit about hypnosis and what we have found. So let me see if there's anybody there with any questions yet. They're coming from all over.
Everywhere. Nice.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Even from Australia. Christina's in Australia. We have Oregon, Puerto Rico, Washington State. They're all over.
All over.
Yeah, well, thank you, everybody. So if nobody has a question, I guess we're going to just start talking and tell you about a little bit. So, Antonio, you had a bunch of things that you wanted to talk about. What's your first thing on the list?
We were, I mean, as we were connecting, we were talking about, why don't we talk about the challenges we face with clients when they come for a session? Why don't you start?
Yeah, well, one of the challenges that I have, there's a few of them, but some of them are red flags for me. One of the red flags is people not following instructions. And to me, that's really important that you be able to follow our instructions, because during a session, we're guiding you. And if you don't follow instructions, you're all over the place, it's not going to be a good session. So one of the red flags that I find is if I send out instructions to people and from the get-go they're not following instructions, that's a red flag for me. That's before I even meet them. And then when they come to a session with expectations of what they want from a session. And
that's a big one.
That's a real big one, because when we have when we're doing a session, we are asking the soul to guide the session. And where the soul goes may be a totally different place than where you think it's going to go. So I have had clients that are actually lying down with their hands crossed and saying, that's not what I came here for. I've already worked on this. And that's not going to have good outcome.
Right. That's what happened is whenever you have expectations, you want the session to go according to what you think is going to happen. And the truth is that you don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen. Your soul knows, but in order for your soul to go and visit the events that it needs to visit during the session, you need to be open, you need to let go. You need to flow fast, right? This is it's like slow dance. We're going to be dancing through these events together. But whenever you try to control the experience, whenever you want to say, no, these are my expectations, there's no rhythm anymore. So it breaks and it feels really...
And dancing is a really great way. There has to be a lead and a follower when you dance. And if you're trying to be the leader and so are they, you're going to be stepping on each other's toes. It's not going to be a real good dance. So somebody's got to allow... when they come to allow themselves to be guided by what happens.
Yeah, and I'm typing as you guys are asking questions, so I don't forget.
Yeah, there is a question here from Myrna, and she says, Alba, have you noticed a difference with people now more aware during sessions, not deep trance? No. It's never been an issue about a deep trance. And this is a misconception about hypnosis.
Give your opinion about deep trance.
A lot of people think deep trance is like sleep, like a dream state. Like when you're dreaming, when you're actually asleep and you wake up and you go, oh, what happened? And that's not your norm, okay? And if someone is telling you that is the norm to go deep in hypnosis, it's not the norm. And it never has been. And that was one of the questions that when we were in QHHT class, we asked Dolores Cannon. And it's not. You don't need to go anywhere deep. You don't need to be, you don't need to wake up from your session saying, I don't remember anything. All you need to do is focus. Focus on what you're feeling. Focus on what you're knowing. Because hypnosis is not like going to the movies. You're not seeing it like on a wide screen. You are just knowing things, and you're being guided by a knowing. And it's like you receive like a data chunk of information. And it's not something that you see, it's something that you know. You just know. And that's how the story unfolds. So when we tell a person, I tell all my clients, I'm going to be very pushy. I'm going to push you through here. and you're going to hear me saying yes, 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 continue, because I don't want you thinking. I want you just talking.
We push people during the session.
We push. We're very pushy, and so as they're talking, the story unfolds. But it's not that they're seeing anything; they just know it. It's very hard to describe, and a lot of people say, "Well, I don't see anything." No, you don't. You just know it.
That concept of taking people deep into a trance, it actually caused a lot of problems in my practice at the very beginning, because I thought that needed to happen in order for the session to work, or for the session to be a good session. And as I was learning from other teachers, I noticed and I learned that it is normal to remember everything after the session.
Yeah.
Some people remember certain parts of the session. Some others don't remember anything. They go to the somnambulistic level. But that's only 3% of the population. And I have no control. There's no way I can tell you I have an induction that is going to take you very deep that you won't remember. I will be lying to you. That's not the way it works.
Yeah.
I want you to think about something. Some people, and most of us, feel things like unexplained symptoms, right? And I would need to talk about the concept of soul entrapment, when there's a painful event, like a traumatic event, that your soul was not able to process at physical, emotional, and mental level. When that happens, part of our soul gets trapped in that experience. That happens in this life, can happen during our time in the womb, can happen in a past life. We don't remember consciously, but the symptom is there. It is manifesting. In a way, we're in two places at the same time. So our job is to make conscious what is unconscious. Doesn't matter how deep you go. You didn't need to go deep in order to experience the symptom now. But as we guide you through the session, as we follow the symptom, we're going to get to the root cause. You don't need to go deep into a trance.
Another thing is, it doesn't have to be a long induction.
Right. People go into a trance without inductions.
Exactly. If anybody has been to any one of my gatherings, and I do an exercise in which we work on issues that the person is dealing with, and within less than a minute, that person is already in a trance and in a past life, and there's no induction. So it doesn't matter how deep they are. It's whether or not they access what they're needing to access.
They are already accessing it, and what happens is that today's consciousness starts blocking what's coming from this other event. Let's say a past life, because in this man you could be a man. In this life you can be a man, and the issue come from a life where you were a woman, and then that part of you is saying that doesn't make sense. How come I am a woman if I'm a man? It doesn't make sense. You start trying to make sense of what you're getting, and you're blocking it.
Yeah. Here's another question from Yvonne. I wonder if some people are actually scared to go deep. Oops. I lost the page here. And into past lives. So I wonder if they make up a past life story. So my question would be, why did you make that up?
So here's the thing, right? Our job is not to validate or prove that those past lives are real or not. For therapeutic purposes, it doesn't matter. That past life your mind created is telling us something about you. And we're going to use the same techniques to help you, even though you created that past life. If something you imagine made you sick, then something you imagine can heal you. It doesn't matter, really. I mean, I had clients that had past lives as cartoons. Does that make sense? Probably not. But those cartoons were telling me something about my client. And we use the same tools to help them.
Yeah. So we're not here to validate what the person experiences, because that, whatever they experience, is going to be an answer to the question as to why they're feeling a certain way. Okay? And so it doesn't matter. And I've had people where they have had mind-blowing sessions, mind-blowing, where I thought, oh my God, that was just phenomenal. And I'll ask them, would you want to share that? And they'll say, no, because I can't confirm that that's true.
That's expectations.
Who cares? Who cares? You know, somebody else could get some healing from that session. It doesn't matter. You know, and they want to go into, you know, records, historical records to find out if that was real. It doesn't matter. You know, it's the experience, and that experience could trigger a knowing in somebody else.
Right.
So, you know, it's what the person got from the session. It's not whether you can validate whether it's real or not, whether you can look it up in Google or not.
Right.
Okay?
And even our teachers used to tell us that, you know, and it's true. It doesn't matter if you created it or not. It is affecting you. Whatever you created in your mind, it is already affecting you.
Yeah.
What your subconscious mind is 88% of your mind. It is in your subconscious mind what is affecting you, what is making you behave in certain ways. So if in a session you think you're imagining something, that comes from there, from your subconscious mind, which is your reality. It doesn't really matter. And speaking about that, Alba, somebody else asked, right?
Yeah.
How do you know if somebody is hypnotized? I mean, I'm going to be honest, I don't care. Because everybody can go through the experience. It's not about, and you will never know when somebody, there's no way for sure that you will know somebody is in a trance. When I was starting and I was still learning, I'm still learning. I would never stop learning.
We never stop.
At the very beginning, let's put it that way, I cut sessions short because I thought that my client was not in a trance.
Yeah.
To my surprise, my client didn't even remember what he or she said during the session. I don't pay attention to that anymore.
There are some things that you could see happening in a session.
Yeah.
And it's usually the eye flickering, okay? You can see these are some things that you'll see. Their eyes start to flicker like they're looking at something.
What is that?
I don't know. It's very interesting. So they'll start to flicker. Some people start to yawn.
Sounds like an alarm.
It is, yeah. It sounds like some sort of an alarm. You know, we've had major storms here today, so who knows what's being triggered.
Okay.
So anyway, yawning is one of them.
Yeah.
Your stomach growling. Sometimes, all of a sudden, and you'll hear it in some of my videos because the microphone is so close to their digestive system. You'll hear, you'll hear gurgling because all of a sudden you hear stuff like that. So there's a lot of things that people do. Some people will open their eyes during a session.
Yeah. That's strange.
That is very strange. I may have to go out there and discover what it is if it continues. So anyway, the whole idea is you don't really know, but you continue as if, because sometimes the person, if they are not deep, okay, they're just kind of like still trying to figure out if they're hypnotized or not. If you just continue going on, ignoring whether they're misbehaving and telling you they're not hypnotized, they'll eventually just let go and they'll just start working on it. And I have one of the videos recently where the beginning of the video, I wanted to show that because a lot of people think that all my sessions go so smoothly, and she's at the beginning going like, I'm not hypnotized, it's not working. And it took like 45 minutes or something for me to finally get to where she was letting go, and boom, she was in a past life. So we as hypnotherapists have to just keep working, whether we think
keep pushing.
Yeah, whether we think that they're hypnotized or not doesn't matter. We treat everybody the same.
Yeah, clients get into the experience, but sometimes they start questioning. I don't know, I am not sure. They're trying to make sense of what they're getting. We don't even allow them time to think or analyze. We keep pushing until they connect. This somebody's asking about a workshop in London. We're going to be in the Netherlands for a workshop and a class.
Yeah, you could take the train.
The train. I was going to say that.
I've taken the train from London to the Netherlands
for the workshop in October. Is it October?
October we have the Encounter with Your Soul, which is a phenomenal workshop. It's a short one. You could bring family with you.
It's not a class.
No.
You have to work on yourself.
Yeah, we have that, and we also have the Introspective Hypnosis Class in the Netherlands. And it's a great place to have it. you know, if you're anywhere in Europe, it's a good place to have it. It's easy to get to. Okay, we have another one here. Alba, your videos have been so impactful in my life. I would love to learn how to do what you do.
Join the course.
Take it away.
Join the course. One thing
Yeah.
that we need to become aware is that there's a learning curve, right?
Yeah.
You want to say, I want to play for the NBA, and you register for a 6-day basketball class. After the class is over, you will not play for the NBA. Right? I'm not saying I play for the NBA or that I'm at the top level in hypnosis. All I'm trying to explain is that it's all about practice, how much time and dedication you put to it. If you're motivated,
Yeah.
if you really want to help people and that is your motivation, take the class and we'll be there to support you as you learn.
Yeah. The Introspective Hypnosis Class is taught by Antonio. And the live classes I go to one, which is a retreat in Marriottsville, Maryland, and
Here in
there's
the
another
US,
one in and the other one is in Workhoven. I don't know how to say it in Dutch, but anyway, I'm sure that's not how you say it. We have one in the Netherlands, and I am there with Antonio, and we do the class together.
Yeah.
You know, Antonio teaches you from the basics. You don't have to know anything whatsoever about hypnosis. He teaches you from the very, very beginning, and on the last day, you are actually doing sessions with your team. And we're there to support you. You get to see live sessions. You get to practice while you're there. And, you know, afterwards, Antonio has a mentorship program where he actually continues teaching you every month. So it is a great class. I highly recommend it. And when we're together in the class, it's quite entertaining.
All kind of things take place.
Yeah. Everything takes place because
Even more
Antonio.
during the workshops.
Yeah, you know, Antonio and I use the same techniques. Okay, we use the same techniques, but we're totally different people. So, you know, I'll do things a certain way, but I'm still using the same tools. But I'm using it my way. Antonio's using it his way, and sometimes we get into little duking out during the class, and it's quite entertaining. It's like watching a sibling, you know, fighting at the dinner table with each other. So
sometimes we agree, and sometimes we disagree, and we learn to respect each other.
Exactly. So the class is really a lot of fun, and we get to spend the whole time together from the morning at 8 o'clock when we have breakfast all the way to the evening. After dinner, we continue learning and practicing and doing stuff. So it's a full-blown retreat. You'll never say you didn't get enough training.
Yeah.
So
it's nice.
And you can go to my website or Antonio's to find the class. Let's see what else we have here.
It says here, never have to go to the bathroom during my session. I had to go so badly, sleep back into a trance. Yeah, I mean,
of course.
I had clients going into the bathroom in a trance.
Of course.
That's not a problem.
And I always tell my clients a story that happened to me. If you're watching, I'm sorry, but I tell your story all the time. It was a guy who actually had a session with me in Los Angeles, and he came to me and he says, you know, I haven't had anything to drink whatsoever all day because I don't want to get up and go to the bathroom. And during the session, he got up 5 times. And each time he went back into hypnosis, he actually went faster and deeper. So it was fine. It you know, there's no problem with that. It's like, it really is like, you know, when you're watching a movie on TV and you got to go real fast and you pause it and you go to the bathroom and you come back and you unpause it and you're back in the movie. It's the same exact thing because we know how to go in and out of trance. So that's what it's like. What else do we have?
Let's see.
I'm from the Netherlands. Alfred says, when are you guys going to be here? It's going to be in October. October.
Right. The workshop and a few days later the class.
Yes.
So it's just one trip.
The workshop, I think, is from the 11th to the 14th.
Hold on, let me go to my website and I'll get it.
In fact, the last day is my birthday, so you'll get to celebrate my birthday with me.
As we did last time.
Exactly. So as you look that up, let me read the next one. Alba, it takes a lot to get a session with you. We agree the person is guided. Why would there be any red flags? I don't understand. You know, it's just people's personalities. So, and red flags, we're talking about us having a challenge with them. Okay, they may not be ready to follow our instructions. They may be people who have a certain idea of what they want, or they just don't want to follow directions.
Yeah.
Do you have information?
Yeah, I have. We start with Encounter with Your Soul, October 11th to the 14th. That's the 4 days.
That's the workshop.
The workshop, right? In the Netherlands, in Atamaya. And then we have the actual 6-day class on the 20th, October 20th to the 25th. That's a 6-day class. You know, so we're gonna be in the Netherlands in October. Yeah.
So somebody asked, do you remember your first sessions when you were the hypnotist? Just curious. Antonio, do you?
I remember I did it with my son, and with my son, the second one, right? He was just a little boy, and I was so sure that it was not going to work that I didn't even record. Back then I was kind of using my laptop for it. Not my laptop, my tablet, and he went in. I mean, I thought he was playing with me, and his voice changed, and he was telling me about an explosion or something like that. I said, he's just making it up. He wants to make me feel good. And said I was about to say, okay, open your eyes, right? But then I thought, what if he's in a trance? When I brought him out, he didn't remember anything.
Interesting, huh?
See, I'm sorry, I fell asleep. No, you didn't. You were talking to me like for 30 minutes, and it was very confusing for him. That was my first experience.
Yeah.
They will give you the easy ones first. Okay.
Very easy. Very easy.
They will give you the easy ones first. Then you get the challenging clients, because you're going to learn from the challenging sessions, not the easy ones.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't remember my sessions. I don't remember my sessions at all, but I do remember that when I was done with it, or while I was doing them, it was like, damn, this really works. I couldn't believe it. And I remember one time, one of the earliest ones, I did not want to have anything to do with extraterrestrial stuff. Dolores Cannon loved that stuff, and I didn't want to do anything with extraterrestrial stuff.
Light is flickering. Just for your information, light is flickering here.
Okay.
It's gonna be the storm anyway.
Okay.
That's gonna be.
So I prayed about it, and I said, please don't send me any extraterrestrial, no ET stuff, because I'm not into that stuff. And so I would get really easy stuff. And one day I was doing a session, and all of a sudden in the session, my client said they're working on her in the ship. And I went, what ship? And they said, no, we have a healing place in the ship, and that's where we're working on her. And I just sat there and I was like, huh? Because I didn't read Dolores Cannon's books. So when I was done with it, I realized that I had done a session with ET related stuff. And I went, oh, that wasn't that bad. You can send me more. So that's when I started getting more sessions, because I was able to mentally handle it. But I don't remember the actual sessions, but I just remember that as being one of them.
Yeah. Tonya,
okay, what else we got?
Thank you, Tonya, for your comments. She was commenting about my sessions.
Oh.
So thank you. I wish I could upload more sessions, but the type of clients that are getting to me now are a little bit different. So the sessions lately has been very personal. There's nothing I can share there. But I'll try. At least I'm recording some more stuff for you guys, or tell you about some sources, examples.
Layla says, I like how you nudge them on during sessions. Sometimes they are reliving things and don't vocalize it. Makes it much more informative for us, Melba. Well, it's Alba. But anyway, I don't care. And the sessions are not done for YouTube. The sessions are done for my client. So whether they're vocalizing it or not, as long as they're getting results, is the most important stuff. And we do nudge them for them to not be thinking about it.
Yeah.
But one of the most important things that you need to understand is that I do not do my sessions for YouTube. I do not do them for YouTube.
We don't
I
ask
do,
questions thinking that, oh, I have to share this.
no. This session is for my client. It is not for the public. So whatever happens in my session is for them. It's not for me to answer questions about the universe or anything like that. It's about them and their issues. So a lot of stuff, like Antonio was saying, we cannot share because the sessions are very private. They're talking about maybe sexual abuse when they were children. They're talking about, rape, molestation, all sorts of trauma. And these are with maybe family members or their spouse or somebody that is still alive, and they have children. And you do not want to publish something that can affect their life. And I remember one time where I shared something. This guy had a session with me, and he says, take it off immediately because my wife is ready to file for divorce because of what was said on YouTube. And he had agreed to share that. I said, are you sure? Are you sure you want to do this? And he says, oh yeah. And it was bad, So then later he actually says, if you can edit that part out and repost, great, because it was a great session. Mm-hmm. So remember, we do not do these sessions for YouTube. We do it for our clients.
Right.
Okay.
Any other questions, or maybe you want to talk about what challenges do we face in our classes while we're teaching this technique? Want to talk about that?
Well, the expectations is one of the things. When people come with expectations that they're going to be doing this to become the next
Brian Weiss.
Brian Weiss or Dolores Cannon, or they're going to write books. They're going to pump their clients for information so that they can do things. That's not what we do our sessions for.
No. So let me speak about some of the not challenges, but I don't know what to call it, challenges or our goal, or at least my goals during the class. Right? Somebody wants to learn. Number one is that allow people to leave their ego outside the class. And what do I mean by that? Because people that come to our classes come from different backgrounds. They come from other techniques, and they took a long time to learn those techniques and to master the techniques. So when they get into the room, at the beginning, you see a lot of people wearing their hats. I'm a hypnotherapist. I'm a QHSC practitioner. I practice such and such. And they bump into each other with this ego, right? It's a big hat saying, this is who I am. And we cannot have ego in this type of technique, in this type of sessions.
Yeah.
We cannot have ego. It took me time to learn that. It took me time to get rid of it. Mm-hmm. So we're nobody in a class. We're just somebody that wants to learn a new technique.
Yeah.
Challenge number two. We need to help them empty their cup. Forget what they know already. As I was learning past life therapy from Jose Luis Cabuli, I was trying to make sense of what I was learning based on what I already knew. I was trying to make sense of what he was explaining to me based on what I already knew, and I was asking questions based on that. Mm-hmm. Wrong. That's the wrong idea. So he said to me something that is true. You need to unlearn in order to learn. I need to empty my cup. I cannot go into a class trying to process what the teacher is giving me based on what I already know, because it's not going to make sense. It's a different technique, and he's teaching me that technique from his own filters, right? What else, Alba? Help people do it for love. This is not a business. We do charge for sessions. We do charge for classes, but money should not be a motivation. Mm-hmm. We need to pay our bills. I need to buy plane tickets to go to place A from A. A to B in order to teach a class. You do the same,
Yeah.
but it's not a business. So you will never hear me or hear Alba say, "Oh, you can make this much money a year if you learn this technique."
No.
We're working with the soul. We're working with the spirit, and the spirit guides show up sometimes during the session. If your motivation is a different one, you will not
Yeah.
get the support.
Yeah. And one of the challenges that we have is people coming from other types of hypnosis and interrupting the class, constantly saying, well, this is how I do it. This is the way I was taught. That's a challenge because the rest of the students don't want to hear about what
Right.
you know. They want to learn. So we teach you from the basics. And when I was learning from Jose Luis Kabuli, the past life therapy, I was shut. I don't care how many thousands of
Same here.
sessions I've done. He's the master of that technique, and I'm going to listen.
It doesn't make sense to go into a class saying, "But this is the way I do it."
Right.
The teacher doesn't care. You register for that class to learn his technique, not to keep doing what you're doing.
Exactly. So one of the things that Antonio just said is really important, and it is we do this with love. And when I do my sessions, I channel my mother. Okay? My mother was an angel. My mother was the most nurturing mother you could ever have. And she never spoke harshly to me. She never raised her voice to me. She was always very, very loving. So when I work with my clients, that's how I work with them, with love. That is, to me, in a session, that's the closest, the most intimate thing that I could do with another person.
That is what they really appreciate in their comments.
Yeah.
They can feel the connection.
Yeah. So if someone's fighting me, it's not going to be a real good, a really good time, because I'm there to love them during the session. I'm there to be totally open in loving them 100% and be with them 100%. And this is how we do our sessions. We're not thinking about who's coming next or, it's you're there and you are our main focus, and we're going to do this with absolute love. So that is how this course is taught.
Yeah.
That you're doing it from love to help that person from love.
Yeah, and I didn't understand that at the beginning, Alba. And I always say this during the classes.
No.
I was facilitating session for my clients, and their a loved one would show up, or one of their guys would show up and say to me, "You need to do this more with love." And so, what are
Yeah.
you talking about? This session is love a discount? What do you mean by love? I wasn't understanding this until I
Yeah.
got it. I got it, and my sessions changed, and the results.
Well, I got slapped I also got slapped when I first started because I came from a business background. I had been an executive. I had had many, many years of being, in project management, being in charge, and, running meetings and things like that. And when I started doing hypnosis, I was a bit assertive with my tone. Kind of
like a boss.
Kind of like when I talk to the spirits, but I was like that full time. And someone actually corrected me and said, "Hey, Alba, you got to work on your bedside manners, because you're a little scary when you have sessions." And this is before I had even put anything online. This is way at the beginning, and I thank that person for giving me that feedback because I didn't realize that I was being so strong with the person, and then I switched it to love. And remember, Antonio and I didn't really learn this stuff from other people. We have been learning this together for 10 years. We've been developing this technique
Right.
for 10 years.
I learned what we call introspective hypnosis from Aurelio Mejia, but as he said to me once, "You're gonna make this technique yours anyway."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he has changed, and when I learned from him, he was not teaching classes, so I shadowed him for 6 days,
Yeah.
So I had my own interpretation of what he was doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, and speaking about love, Alba,
Yeah.
here's what the problem is. We are afraid. When we say we're talking about human beings are afraid to feel. And this is one of the biggest challenge in this planet as being a human, being human and going through these difficult lessons that we feel and it's going through the emotions. Um, I want to talk about connecting to the clients. At the beginning, I was here from people doing this for longer than us. Don't connect with your clients. That's their stuff. That doesn't belong to you. But then with time, I learned that the secret was to connect, going heart to heart. You need to love
Yeah.
your client, literally love your client. In a session, you're guiding a soul that is scared, is trapped in traumatic events, and they were sent to you for a reason. That's what I believe that they're sent to us.
Yeah.
But if you're afraid and if you don't want to connect, what are you going to accomplish? And here's the thing: some practitioners are afraid to connect. Why, Alba? Why do you think they're afraid to connect to the client's experiences?
You tell them.
Gonna be triggered. Because if you're helping somebody, let's say somebody that was molested, and you get uncomfortable, then there's something that you as a practitioner need to work on.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of practitioners not wanting to connect because they don't want to be triggered. But if you don't connect, you're missing a lot in the session.
And I'll tell you something. We all have so many issues. We all have issues. And we are always working on these issues. And when I first started doing hypnosis, I realized that the people that were coming to me had the same issues I did. So as I was helping them, guiding them through their sessions, I was helping myself. It was like me helping myself through them. So it was really amazing how, we kind of are like a higher version of us is conducting this session in order to heal us too.
Right.
So that's how it works. Let's go to some of the questions because I don't want them to feel that we're not reading this stuff. Tanya says, I apologize if you covered this. I met with you in LA in December 2016. My goodness, how my life changed. How have your sessions changed in the 6 to 7 years? Whew,
They
a
keep
lot.
changing.
Every day. Every day.
Changing.
Yeah, we are evolving constantly. So as we learn new techniques, more stuff comes to us. And when more stuff comes to us, we learn how to handle it even more. So if you saw me in 2017, you saw a totally different version of me. And I tell my clients that if you haven't had a session with me, perhaps I don't have the skill set yet to deal with what you're going through.
Right.
So it's a two-way thing. Maybe I'm not ready for you yet, or you're not ready for me.
Yeah.
So they change all the time. In fact, my sessions changed from last year.
Yeah, let me give this example, right? Let's talk about learning how to use a pen. When is it that we learn how to write? In which grade? I forgot. But let's say as a little kid, you're taught how to use this pen, and you're taught how to write, maybe write your name and write a sentence. The pen is, let's say that the pen is the same. The pen is there for you. It's just a tool. But as you keep learning, as you keep going in grades, right? You go to middle school, you go to high school. What's going to come out of you, what's going to be written on the pages with the same pen is going to be different. Why? Because you're evolving, right? In my opinion, Alba, hypnosis is the same thing. We're learning a technique. We're learning how to use this pen, right?
Correct.
And what's going to come out in a session is going to depend on what we have, this side, the heart, what we have inside. And as we evolve, there are more things that come out in a session. We're able to handle sessions in different ways. And this is why everybody has a different style in session. Alba and I are friends and we're like siblings, right? Brother and sister, but we have different journeys. We support each other, but your journey is different than my journey.
Yep.
And the sessions are different, even though we have the same tools, even though we use the same pen.
The same pen.
What
Yeah.
made a big impact in my sessions, in my case, learning about spirituality. And when I say spirituality, I don't mean a religion. Learning about the spiritualist doctrine. Watch the movie Kardec on Netflix. Kardec, Allan Kardec. His name was Hipólito Rivail. Watch the movie. He wrote a few books. One of them was the Spirits book. Spirits give us information on how the soul works on that book. I was already getting things in my session, but when I read that book, it made complete sense. So that helped me change more in my sessions.
Yeah.
That information.
Here's a question from Pink Light. I hope this isn't a dumb question. When you're doing sessions, do portals open? If so, how are you sure that it is closed back up?
I'm not that powerful to open portals. What's your opinion?
This is a belief system. And I think if you have a belief system that there's a portal that's opening, it's going to be open for you. If you're afraid that you're not closing the portal, it's going to be that for you. You have to be confident in what you're doing. When I'm doing my work, I'm confident that what I do there is blessed by my guides, blessed by all of those who help me. So whatever I do in the session, I've got a team that is supporting me, a spiritual team. So whether I don't have any type of ritual saying I close the portals and all of that. I don't need that. I delegate that to my team to take care of that. Now I do have a prayer that I say in the evening to clear all of the energies of the space. That's my ritual. But again, that's my belief system. And that's what I do. So I don't deal with things that I don't work with. I don't work with portals, so I'm not going to go there.
And never approach a session with fear.
Yeah.
Don't approach a session with fear. If in a session an attachment and a lost soul attached to a client starts manifesting, I didn't open any portals. My client went into a trance, and anybody in a trance is become, let's say, psychic. They can feel more, they can sense more, they can experience more, and at that moment, that attachment cannot hide anymore, and it starts manifesting. I didn't know portal. If my client is visited by a loved one that comes to give a message, I didn't open a portal. Just this soul, the spirit knew this session was going to take place, and came to give a message. It's like saying that mediums open portals. They don't. They just connect with spirits. That's it.
Yeah. Let's see what else we have here. Tanya says, I still fall asleep when I listen to your sessions, still receiving healing, I suppose. Some people say that. A lot of people say that. Alba, do you think communicating with your father after he passed encouraged you to get into this practice? No. My father, communicating with my father, opened up the automatic writing. That's how I got into automatic writing. Automatic writing was my first way of learning about the spiritual side directly from the spiritual side. And it had nothing to do with hypnosis. I learned how to do automatic writing in 1988. My father died in 1979. So I communicated with him. I had learned how to do automatic writing just as a fluke. And I started receiving information. I still do today. Not from my father. He's changed that role. But hypnosis came from a different route, not through my father. So thank you for the question, though.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Before the last one, Mel has a question there.
Who does?
Mel Berry.
Okay, read it.
I am so familiar with my client's story. Oh, no, hold on. No, let me see. No, that was not the one I wanted to read.
Well, read that one anyway.
Somebody was asking, and I'll read that one, but somebody was asking about how do we do if something happens in a Zoom session that it can get out of control. Right?
You've had that.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same. Mm-hmm. When you're in a trance, you're not asleep. When you're in a trance, even if the internet disconnects, you're not gonna stay in that state. You're gonna notice that I'm not speaking to you, and you will reconnect, and we'll continue working.
Yep.
when you say somebody's going to get out of hand, I facilitate past life therapy sessions. People visit traumatic events sometimes when I'm doing
Yeah.
sessions. But this is not us. I'm not alone in a session. I'm sure I have at least my guide, and my client has their own guide. We're being protected, we're being guided. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes the information that I get, or the questions that I ask in a session, that I don't know why I'm asking those questions or why I'm using those words, come from those beings that are there to assist us. So nothing is going to happen. Going to Melbourne, I'm so familiar with my client stories to date, resonate on many levels, asking my team to send me more clients. As this work absolutely invigorates me, do you have tips on recharging after a session? Well, let me answer to that. There was a time where I could, when I had to travel for sessions, I would do 5 sessions in a row. I'm no longer doing that. I
Yeah.
mean, I guess that with time and the way you evolve and the way you connect with sessions, I would say 2 sessions, 3 full-blown sessions, it's enough.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you need to recharge. And when I do my workshops, I can do sometimes 4 or 5 because those are mini sessions. These are not full-blown sessions,
Yeah.
not a full-blown interview anymore. But how do you recharge, Alba?
Well, I used to be able to do 3 sessions a day. Not anymore. I'm doing about 3 a week now. Because when I do a session, I'm there with them. It's almost like I'm really there with them. I see what they're seeing before they see it. I'm there. So when I get out of a session, I take a while to get out of that trance. I'm a little woo. So I mean, I'm so grateful that I live in a place where I have a lot of nature
I
around.
was gonna say nature, yes.
I go out to the dock and just, watch the water and watch the birds. And if I'm really like spaced out, I'll just lie on the grass. I'll just like, do grass angels. I'll just be on the grass just saying like, ugh, ground me, because I do feel like I'm floating somewhere. And I try not to do anything else that day because I am really deep. So I have to, that's how I recharge. So I try not to do sessions one after another.
You need to
And
find your own way to
yeah,
recharge and to disconnect from,
yeah,
because what was happening at the beginning, Alba, you know this. I was the stories that my clients were telling me, not the stories, but those sad events or traumatic events that our clients were going through in a session were playing in my mind like a movie.
yeah,
So the first few weeks I had an issue going to sleep because I had a movie playing in my mind. I could not sleep.
yeah,
But then you learn how to go through that. You need to find your own way.
yeah,
What helps me is riding my motorcycle.
yeah.
Me,
Well,
contact with nature.
we have to, another thing that grounds me is and recharges is I eat. I'm starving after a session. I feel as if I've just run a marathon, and Antonio's the opposite. But I have to eat like a full-blown meal after a session. I will eat the house and the whole refrigerator out because I'm starving after a session. So that's how I do some recharging. So food and nature. And I tell my clients the same thing. Go out and take a walk because you need to recharge and ground yourself. What else do we have here?
Because they're back from trance, but not completely.
Yeah.
The soul still keeps working on the stuff that he got.
Yeah. Mimi says, when doing sessions long distance, aka through Zoom, do you ever worry that someone may unravel? Oh, that's what you were saying?
Right.
Okay, no. In fact, before I do a Zoom session, I always go through the same speech with my clients. I'll tell them, and this is exactly what I do. I said, every once in a while when I'm turning pages and making a lot of noise, I'm going to turn off my microphone. It sounds like, okay? And you just keep talking, okay? And then but if I get disconnected and you don't hear me for a really long time, just keep talking. And then I'll just ask you to repeat it because you need to stay on the Zoom sessions. And if you see that I'm not there, just keep talking because it's still being recorded. And then I'll come back because the session is still available, and then I'll just ask you what happened. So I give them the same speech to everybody. make them hear what it sounds like to turn off my mic. And because it gets very loud, it sounds like this. I'm turning pages and writing, so it could be disruptive. So I turn it off. So yeah, I'm not worried about that. I've had people disconnect and me disconnect, and I've had sessions where I had to finish it on my phone because I lost power. So yeah, it's not a problem.
Read from the bottom up. Robin has a question.
Alba or Antonio, how did you increase your prices? How? Okay. Well, when I started hypnosis 10 years ago, I was doing it by donation because I didn't know anything. And then I would tell the people, if you tell a friend, then I'm going to charge your friend. Okay? And then once I started gaining confidence in what I was doing, you just feel it in your gut that you've done a lot of work and you haven't gotten compensated for it. And so little by little, it's almost like a gut feel, like, it just didn't feel right. They gave me this, but it's worth so much more. And that's how you increase your prices. This happened to me recently. I'm just going to lay it out there. I was planning on increasing my prices because I was seeing other people who charge like double of what I charge and not as much experience, not as much training in different techniques. And I said, you know what, that's not fair. I should be getting paid more for that because of what I do and how I do it. And then I changed my mind and I said, that doesn't feel right.
Amen to that.
That doesn't, and that's really how it is. It doesn't feel right. I'm not going to charge them anymore. God will provide. So my prices have stayed the same for several years now, so have Antonio's. And it's a feeling that you get. Now, if you're charging $1,500 for a session, good for you. That's what you feel that you're worth. But for me, that's how much I charge, and I charge for my time, my experience, and my love.
Yeah.
So that's how it is, and that's how you feel it out through your gut.
Yeah, I started charging, I remember, $50 a session. We all start with practice sessions, free sessions, right? And when you offer free sessions, nobody values the session. Right? They book a session, they don't show up.
Yeah.
Or they don't give 100% of themselves, or anyway.
Yeah.
Then I went to $100, $150, $200, $250, then $300, and I stopped at $300 because, as I always say, I still want to be. I mean, $300 is not easy money. I mean, it's a lot of people make an effort to pay that price, and I respect that. So I needed to be affordable to people, and of course, my sessions last from an average of 2 hours. You spend double the time.
Yeah, I spend a lot more time with them.
Right. So, and people were approaching me saying, Antonio, you have people that took your course that are charging double what you're charging. Well, good for them. I'm still going to charge $300, whatever I need, because I'm now doing this. Well, actually, starting in 2019, doing this full time.
Yeah.
Whatever I need to pay for in my life, I get from my workshops, I get from the classes, I get from some other sources. I still get my classes, and they will still stay at that price because it becomes affordable. There's a fine line between service and business.
Yeah.
And if you're going to increase your price based on your ego because somebody else is charging this much, because there's a person that is charging double, I know more, I should be charging more, then you're taking the wrong route.
Yeah, and that's what happened to me, is that it felt bad, and I said no. The only time I charge more now is when I do on the road travel, because I'm charging them for my accommodation, and if they were to come here, they would be paying for their airfare and their accommodation. So when I go on the road, I charge them more for my lodging and my travel, and even then I'm still not getting all of the money back from, because I'm only doing 3 sessions and I may be in a city for 5 days. So I'm still paying a lot out of pocket when I go traveling, but I enjoy it. I like traveling, and I'll be doing more of it. So that's how you figure out how you charge, and
figure out why you're going to charge that.
yeah,
Right.
exactly. So I hope that answered your question. Let's see. Do you have a network of students that do sessions in their home areas? I don't know what that means, because introspective hypnosis, you don't need to be in your home area. You're doing things on Zoom. So your home area could be Australia, it could be Finland, it could be Prague. You could be doing sessions anywhere. So there's no such thing as a home area, because we teach
People
anywhere online. Sorry, I got stuck.
Yeah, people would ask, right? What is the difference, or what is better, an in-person session or an online session? Is an in-person session more effective than an online session? My experience, that is, in online is more personal. Let's put it this way. Number one, you are in your own place, on your own bed, right? So you're more comfortable. You're not worried about traveling. You're not stressed. Some people feel uncomfortable being in somebody else's presence and in a trance. You're wearing a headphone, so you have me in your ears. And
Yeah,
so it's more intimate. Let's not more personal, more intimate. The session.
more intimate.
And
Yeah,
people let go. And my opinion, it works very effective. I don't want to say it works better. Every type of session has its own advantages and disadvantages.
yeah,
But it's very effective. Nowadays, Aurelio Mejia is just facilitating online sessions now since the pandemic. He doesn't want to go back to in-person sessions. Kabuli, Jose Luis Kabuli, my teacher, also our teacher, had to adapt to the pandemic time. He was
Yeah.
facilitating online. He's doing it online now.
Yeah.
The Newton Institute, Live Between Lives, those are very long sessions, had to adapt to the times, and they're still allowing online sessions. This is the way to go. There's technology, and that way you can be accessible to anybody in the world, really.
yeah. Now with me, they're the same. However, I truly do enjoy the in-person sessions. I feel that connecting heart to heart with someone in the same room is a beautiful experience. It's more intimate experience for me. I'm a huggy person. I like to hug, give big hugs. And I really do enjoy being in their presence.
Yeah.
And it's really strange for me because I have always been an introvert. Antonio knows that I've never liked being around people.
That's strange, right?
It is very strange. It's like I avoid people like the plague. But when I have a one-on-one session, it really is a beautiful experience to me, and it's different from me. And my sessions are different than Antonio's. No matter how much I have tried to change my sessions, I can't. And I have conversations with my guides about it, and they're saying, Alba, this is what you do. This is just what you do. And I spend some time, I started doing hypnosis because of coaching. I've done life coaching for a long time before I started doing hypnosis. And that was just what came easy to me. That was just something I did with everybody, was just talk about stuff from their life. And my life is my message. So when I have somebody in front of me, it's like I do a reading with them. Most people don't know what my sessions really look like because it is so intimate, so personal, because we get into things that have nothing to do with the hypnosis. And it's just something that I do that I can't explain to anybody. And it all comes from my life experience. Because people come to me because we have similar things in our life. And so that's really something that's very special for me. So when I have somebody in front of me, that's what I do, and it makes it very special. And no matter how much I've tried to not do it, to shorten the session, when I get a client, I say, okay, today I'm going to shorten my session. It's like, no, you're not.
And people want the Alba experience. They want to talk to you. They want the ones that come to see you. So it's a different experience.
Yeah, even when I get like 20-year-olds and I go like, oh, this will be fast because there's nothing really to talk to them about. It's like, oh my God, that went longer than usual. But we're not talking 6 hours here, okay? I spend usually an hour talking to them before the session, and that's where we talk about stuff. So anyway, that's my little spiel.
Laura,
what else do we have?
Laura Weaver is saying hi. Hi, Laura.
Hey, Laura.
How are you? Hope you're doing well. We've been talking for 65 minutes, Alba.
Oh, do people want to keep going? We have a few more questions.
Sure. I mean, I don't have a limit. I'm worried about them.
Okay, well, then you can just drop off if you're not interested.
No.
Okay. It costs more to travel and visit than the session, yet I would be willing to pay my multidimensional piece, which is priceless. Thank you. Terry says, I'm going to offer free sessions to some of my clients because this is a natural healing that is not covered by insurance, and some people who need it cannot afford it. Okay, Terry, something about giving free sessions, and we talked about it. People do not appreciate you. They do not appreciate it when you give free stuff. Yes, this is a belief system that if you're doing something spiritual, it should be free. However, every client that I've had who is doing this feels empty. They feel like they've given, and they're not getting anything back. And they feel depleted because they give, and they don't get back anything. So you have to charge something. Okay? Because then they will take it seriously. And if they're not serious, they're not going to do the work.
Right. I was told once by a spirit guide in a session, in this planet, we have to assign a monetary value to something in order to value what we're getting.
Yep. Yeah.
It's sad. I mean, I offer free sessions and
Yep.
been burned, and that's what we also share.
We teach that. We teach that in class. We teach some of this stuff in class, the stuff that we've been burned on.
Of course, we talk about our mistakes, and we talk about our the sad part of learning, right? The challenges. We talk about all of that in the session.
Okay. Terry says, I had an online session with Alba. It was very effective. Thank you, Terry. Yvonne says, well, Alba, if I ever had a deep hypnosis session, I think I'd only trust you. Well, thank you.
Yep.
Antonio's good too.
No, good. But it's important that you go to the practitioner that you resonate with.
Yeah.
The problem is when you say, I want to go to this person, but it's not easy to get a session with this person, so I'll go to the other one. It's not going to be the same because you have different expectations.
And I've had, a long time ago, I've had clients who wanted to get sessions with me, and so they went to another practitioner, and nothing happened because they were comparing them to me, because they've been listening to me every night, and when the other person started talking, the voice is different, the cadence is different. You don't know what type of induction I do, and they may have expectations. So they'll sit there and go, I wasn't hypnotized, and this person's not going to refund your money. So they end up coming back to me anyway. So
it's like I was contacted once, Alba, by somebody saying, Antonio, how much would you charge me to have a session like Alba session number 532? I'm just making up the number, right? It's not going to be the same.
No. You couldn't pay me to have a session like 532.
Two different people.
Yeah, and we don't do sessions by
well, they were ordering a la carte sessions.
Like a la carte, yeah. Let's see. Perhaps from Sasquatch Life, Alba. I don't know what that means. But anyway, when you guys first started, how did your family feel about this new journey?
You want to start?
No, yours is funnier.
Well, I told my mom, I'm learning hypnosis. Oh my God, what are you getting yourself into? Mama, it's hypnosis, it's past lives. No, that is not from God. It's like, so, and even though she was able to meet Aurelio and I was I mean, Aurelia was facilitating sessions in my house in Charlotte. She could see how people were getting in the office, out of the office, transformed. And speaking about past lives, I said, Mom, what do you think about this? I need a priest to tell me. Priest, what do you think the priest is going to tell you? They don't believe in that. So I was facing that with my mom. She's very religious. Catherine, my wife, she was an observer. She said, "Well, this guy is not crazy, so I'm going to pay attention to what where he goes with this." And now, of course, he's on board with everything he's doing. I lost friends, who I thought were my friends, because they said, "Oh, you're practicing occultism now. Oh, you're speaking to spirits. Oh, your house feels so charged with negative energy." None of that. So I lost what I consider good friends then, but I gained a lot more.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was like Superman, but not because of the superpowers. I was working my full-time job, so I had my shirt and my tie going to work, and then after hours I was a hypnotist or regressionist, right? It's the two different roles until, and I was not speaking about this at work until one day I said, I thought, this is who I am. This is what I came here to do. If people don't accept it, is their issue. They'll be out of my life, and that's it. So, yeah, you have to come out of the spiritual closet. We call it the
Yeah.
spiritual closet, right?
Yeah.
And let people know who you are and what you do. That was my journey. What about yours?
Well, my family was very spiritual. My immediate family. My sister and I were almost telepathic with each other. We were very spiritual anyway, so that wasn't a big deal. In fact, my sister tried learning hypnosis when I was in my 20s, which was a long time ago. And so this was natural from when I was doing coaching to...
Speaking about your mother,
I know. Somebody's trying to get my attention.
and you were speaking about your father previously.
I know. They're all like, hey!
Yeah. Yeah.
So, anyway, it wasn't a shock to them. With my son, we really don't talk about this because, I'm his mom and we talk about mom and son issues. We don't really talk about work. So, it wasn't a problem at all. It was just my next evolution, and it came natural. And I think it was a shock for everyone about how successful I became. That was a shock because I was always struggling financially my whole life, and once I started doing this, I was working hard. I was taking classes, which no one would ever expect me to be taking classes. So I was working full time. I was taking classes at night, and I was practicing on the weekends. So I was really busy, and this was surprising for my family. But hey, here I am. What else?
So hello to Jermaine and Denise. Hello.
Okay, can I ask how the 5D reality will affect healing via hypnosis?
What is the 5D reality?
Antonio's Antonio's in a different world, so you can't ask him questions like that. I feel like I'm already in 5D reality, so it all depends on the person.
I know what it is. I know what it is. I'm just, here's the thing.
You're messing.
With time, I learned that less is more. So I keep things simple in my sessions. I don't want to say that I specialized in certain things, but it seems that they started sending specific type of clients to me, and those are the type of sessions that I facilitate. So yeah.
Okay. Robin says, would love to know what tuning forks you use. I have a lot of different tuning forks. I mean, a lot of them. The ones for the chakra are, they say Holy Harmony on it. These that I have here, I just have a bunch of different ones. Which one is this one? I don't even know which ones these are. I don't know. There's a bunch of them. Just get them from the U.S. is what I've been told, because the steel is stronger. Saludos de Mexico. Hi, John. Is it advisable to sign up to one of your training sessions, say in Holland next time, before I have had a personal session? Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. If you want an experience, fine. You know, I had never had when I started QHHT, I had never had a QHHT session until months and months later. It doesn't matter. I was doing sessions and I had never had a session before, so it doesn't matter. If you want an experience, that's fine, but you're going to get an experience when you go to the class. You'll get some sort of experience for sure. Okay?
Prerita is asking, do people recognize you in public? People don't recognize me even in my workshops.
Listen, I have had people. I have had two freak out experiences where people did recognize me. One, I was in Brisbane, Australia, and I was in a shopping mall, and I was just looking at clothes, and someone said, "Alba Weinman," and I was like shocked for a moment, saying, "Where am I? Where am I? Where am I?" Because I wasn't expecting someone to know me in Brisbane, Australia. And it took me a while to just kind of like hone in on, like when you wake up from a dream and you go like, where am I? I felt like that. And another one, I was in my hometown. And I was at the St. Rocco Feast, which is an annual event that we have in my hometown in New Jersey. And of course, my last name is different than it was when I was in my hometown. And I was just there listening to music, and someone came up to me and said, "Oh my God, Alba Weinman!" It was like, wait a minute. Like if someone were to recognize me in my hometown, it would be a different last name. And that's when I realized and they said, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "Well, this was my hometown. That was my house right there. I grew up right there in that house." So, yeah, that was my weird experiences of being recognized. But no, I'm not recognized other places. So, but those were two really strange experiences.
We're laughing, but it actually happened in we were in this workshop, right, in the Netherlands,
Oh, that's right.
Maryland. In Maryland, where everybody's introducing themselves, right? This is who I am, this is what I do, and Alba, thank you very much. I've been watching your videos over and over, and blah, blah, blah. And excuse me, sir, I don't know who you are. It's okay.
He's the teacher.
And it's okay. So you guys, whoever came, or some people come for the class because of Alba or because of me, and it doesn't affect me. You see, there's no ego.
There's no ego there.
But the interesting thing, Alba, is that after the workshop, that person was transformed. What she got during the workshop, So we became really good friends. It was good.
Yeah. There's something, Denise, question, are there any free classes?
Excuse me, I'm sorry, can you repeat
that? Are there any free classes?
There are no free classes. There are free videos. Well, I talk about a lot of stuff in my videos. After taking an introspective hypnosis course or the past life therapy course, and you join the mentoring mentoring program, which is what, $10 a month.
$10.
We get together over Zoom for like 2 hours once a month, and then I give you access to a platform where we keep connecting. You keep learning there, and I'm not charging you extra for whatever you learn. Some people took introspective hypnosis, and I started sharing concepts of past life therapy in the workshop. in the mentoring program. So I don't believe in free classes.
No, this is a career path. If you decide that you
with the soul,
but in any career, if you wanted to be a dental assistant, you're going to have to go to class for it. This is how you're going to make a living, okay? This is how you're going to work. So this is a class that's going to give you a career path to help people. And honestly, if we gave a free class, people would just be there for nothing. And when we do a class, we put in 100% into that class. And we want you to be putting 100% into that class. We want you to be serious about it.
Would you feel comfortable going to a free class and facilitate a session where your client, for example, goes to an event where I'm going to say the way it is. The clients go to events where they were raped or molested. What are you going to do with that?
Oh, let me tell you about that, because that happened to me. When I was 21 or 22, I don't remember how old I was, my sister went to an adult education class. Those were free. Maybe they were like $10 or something. And she was learning hypnosis in that school. And it was really cheap. Let's just say that. It was an adult education class. And she was learning an induction. So she wanted a guinea pig. And of course, I'm her sister. So she says, would you mind if I put you into hypnosis? And I said, oh, no, sure, no problem. And so she did the induction. She didn't even know what was going to happen afterwards. So we're talking, this is probably like in the late 1970s, okay? There were no videos. There was nothing about this.
Who are you going to contact for support?
So she put me into a trance. And I saw myself being hanged. Okay? I went right into a past life where I was being accused of something and being hanged without a trial. And I was sobbing. Sobbing. And she didn't know what to do. She didn't know what to do. And I was so traumatized by that past life regression. It was as if my soul had been ripped open, like a scar had been ripped open. And it did not take until last year. So this is over 40 years that I had a past life regression with Dr. Kabuli's class. And I revisited that past life so that I could heal from that trauma. Because that hanging had traumatized me so much in that past life that it was affecting this lifetime. So when you do a past life regression and you don't know how to handle it, you can rip open a scar of a trauma in a different lifetime, and it could hurt the person. Okay? It just opens them up, and then what do you do? What do you do when you open them up? You've got to learn how to repair that, and that's what we teach you in these classes. We give you tools on how to work with that.
And it doesn't matter if you only learn past life regression, thinking that everybody's gonna go to a past life. The soul knows where it needs to go in order to heal.
Yeah.
So even though you learn past life regression and just past life, some of your clients will go to events from this life.
Yeah.
Could be a
Yeah.
rape, molestation, issues from childhood. What are you going to do?
Yeah. And they'll say, oh, well, I wasn't trained on how to do this life. They didn't go to a past life. My client didn't go to a past life, because there's something that has to be healed. And that's what we deal with in this class. So when you come to this class, you have all the tools that you need. You've got your manual, you know what to do, and you're going to be given the easy stuff first anyway.
And the support, because
Yeah.
even if you don't register for the mentoring program, some of the people that took the course send me emails. Antonio, I had this session. Antonio, I have this question. And I'm always available. I'm not going to send you to a forum for someone else to respond to your questions. Mm-hmm. I need to lower the gain of your microphone a little.
Sorry.
Because it's distorting a little bit. We buy everything the same. We have the same.
All right. Let me know if it's the same, if it's better. Is it better?
It's better.
Okay. All right. Aaron says, Alba mentioned automatic writing. When I auto-wrote, it always comes out in another language. A theologist said the symbols are ancient Hebrew. Curious if you come across that, what would you do? I would say, write to me in English. So, yeah, if you're in control. So if you're dealing with a spirit that is writing to you in a different language, just say, I don't understand it. Just write it to me in English. Aaron says, I love your work, Alba, and you are a real inspiration. I have learned a lot by listening to you. Thank you. Well, thank you for telling me that.
That's Jose's comment. Or Joe.
Yeah. Signed on late, the last gift. Can you talk about your office setup and working from home? Well, this is my... Oh, those beeps. This is my office. This is where I work on Zoom. It's a different room than when I do my sessions. My sessions actually have 2 chairs and a little bed in there. Here I just have a table and my Blue Yeti microphone and a camera. What do we use? Insta360? No.
360. We use that now. The link Insta360. Insta360 is the brand. Link is the most.
Yeah, for the camera, and that's basically it. And a little light. So, and Zoom. That's all you need. And yeah, I think that's all you need. And as far as home office, you know, and if you're going to do sessions there, you just have a place for the person to relax. I would say it should be its own room where you don't have any interruption. You don't have any pets running around and jumping on your clients and things like that, and no smells in the house.
Yeah. Good. I want to thank Jose for his comment. Antonio's books are great. Thank you, Jose. Low cost way to get tons of knowledge on how to navigate hypnotherapy sessions. Knowledge is there, and it's the book. Oh, thank you. There you go. There's one more. You don't
one
have
more.
it.
I don't have it.
I'm going to give it to you. So I have My Soul's Purpose, Guiding Lost Souls, The Symptoms of the Soul, and I finished my 4th one out, but it's being edited in Spanish.
Oh, cool.
The Soul in the Womb. It's what happens in the womb.
Cool.
So that's coming.
D.L. Malley says, blessings to you both. Do we need our own microphones to do Zoom? Well, it sounds better.
They're getting desperate now. You know, they're getting more desperate now, saying, I'm here.
Somebody wants a battery. Okay. Okay. I don't think we have anything else. Did we not... did we answer all of your questions? Yes?
Yes.
We went way over what we thought, but thank you for joining, whoever has come here.
Just remember, we have a live class in April in Maryland.
In Maryland. And it's a really nice place. It's called Bon Secures. It used to is it a monastery or?
No, that's not a monastery.
No, it actually houses.
It's a place for retreat.
Yeah, and even if you wanted to do like a 1-day retreat, it's a nice place. But we spend the whole time together. When you book the class, it includes all meals,
accommodation, meals, coffee breaks,
everything, and you have food like all the time there. And you'll be with us the whole time.
Don't wait, because we have a limited number of rooms.
Yeah,
and we want people to stay there with us. That's the purpose of being a retreat, being together the whole time. Because yes, it's true that you guys are going to learn techniques, but as we learn and as we practice, we heal stuff. You know, there's also healing taking place in those classes. So it's a good idea to stay together.
Yeah, and if you do a different type of technique, it may be time to up your game. Okay.
Step out of the comfort zone. If you think you got it, get out of there.
Yeah, if you
anything new.
Exactly. If you're feeling comfortable with what you're doing, push yourself and learn more, because this is what Antonio and I both do. Is we're always learning more things, and we're incorporating more things, and we're helping people at a much deeper level.
Yeah. On my website, antoniosangio.com, you go to courses, and you have a section for testimonials. See what people say about our class.
Yes, and if you would like to come, you don't want to learn hypnosis, but you want to come to our workshop, it's phenomenal. And you can actually come with your siblings or your parents or, partner, because we will split you up and you will work on your own issues. And by the end of those days together, it's a long weekend, you will have had your own session.
Yeah, and we have it in September this year.
Yeah.
September 20th to the 23rd. That's the workshop.
Yeah. So for those of you who want a session and can't get one, you're going to have a session there.
For sure.
For sure. So
yes.
That's the encounter with your soul. So it's worth it, because you really get to work on things.
We'll give you the tools to help yourself. We'll give you the tools to help others, your family members, relatives. We go from group to group, facilitating mini sessions,
Yes.
helping, assisting. So it's a very nice experience.
It's a great experience. So it's the same thing. It's in Bon Secures in Maryland during September, isn't it? I can't remember.
September is the workshop. Lenore is putting a comment there. Thank you, Lenore. Workshop and classes are amazing. So worth, because
Thank
Lenore took the class and the workshop.
Yep, yep. So she experienced both, and we thank you for that. And even if you are a practitioner of something and you want to take the class, the workshop, do that
Could
too.
be a good introduction to what you can do with the technique.
Exactly. So I'm sorry we took so much of your time, but we had a good time.
Yes.
You learned a little bit about us. If you haven't, really.
For hours.
Yeah, we could talk all day long together, and this is what our conversations are like all the time. We're always, and when you have a class with us together, this is what it's like for the whole
We talk,
day.
we laugh, we cry, we argue, a little bit of everything.
Yeah. So I hope that some of you will sign up for the class and the workshop. You could go to my website, albaweinman.com, and go to the events page. And with Antonio, you can go to antoniosangio.com and go to the courses link, and you will see it there.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Ellen. Thank you, Terry and Denise. Thank you, everybody, for
Thank you all for
spending a few
watching.
minutes with us.
Yeah, and thank God the weather turned out. I called Antonio
Almost didn't take place.
I 2 hours before this, I was freaking out because my power was flickering and branches were falling and the wind was howling and there was a tornado warning. I said, I don't know if I'm going to make it, but it quieted down. So it's really nice.
Yes. Hello, Kazuka. Kazuka is going to Peru.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
And that's something else. Yeah, Antonio's going to be taking a group to Peru.
Yeah. Right now, I kind of put the
closed?
registration in waiting list because anybody else wants to join, I want to make sure I can put them in the same train to Machu Picchu.
Oh,
okay. And be in the same hotel. So right now it's in waiting list mode, but we're almost closed. Almost.
Yeah.
Yes, that's happening.
So thank you everybody for being here with us today. We love having you and answering your questions and sharing our experience with you, and hopefully you'll feel comfortable enough to come join us during one of these classes. Okay, you're going to have a great time. And bring somebody that you love and say, hey, listen, let's do a retreat together. Grab your sister or brother and, just if you feel uncomfortable coming by yourself, just bring somebody you know, and we're going to split you up anyway. So,
Good.
All right. Much love.